In this video, we're going to cover how to quickly and easily go about finding the best deals that are on market. So let's jump right in. Before we start going over the nuts and bolts of how to find the best deals, let's quickly get grounded on what makes a good deal. Ultimately, each person decides for themselves what a good deal is to them to a certain extent. For me, a good deal is a home that I can purchase below appraisal, meaning purchase below what it is worth according to an appraisal. And in doing so, it gives me instant equity. I can then take that property, make some slight improvements to it, increase the value, get a subsequent appraisal after the fact, and then either get all of my money back by financing the property or selling it and making a profit in either scenario. So for example, if I have a property that'll appraise for $100,000 and I get that property for $70,000, I then put about $10,000 in. Say I put some new floors in, add a central AC, whatever the case may be, then get that property to appraise for $130K. Bought the property for $70,000, put about $10K in, had about $5K in miscellaneous closing costs and loan costs. So all in, I've spent $85K on the property. I then put a note on that $130K value, which means I finance it based on the value of $130K using 70% LTV. LTV stands for loan to value, so 70% of that $130K value, which is $91K. So I spent $85K, I refinance, I get $91 back. It gives me all of my $85,000 back, plus put $6,000 in my pocket, and the property still cash flows at my minimum. That is what I consider a great deal, and that's something I'll do all day, every day. Now, it doesn't always necessarily work out that you get all of your money back or that you get all of your money back and make some extra money. It'd still be a good deal if you get the majority of your money back and your overall costs end up being at around 10K. So if you can keep acquisition costs net out of pocket below 10K a property and still cash flow above 400 for that property each month, long term, that's still a great deal. Now, obviously, there are other factors and different situations where spending much more money out of pocket is still a great deal, a great value. But for the purpose of purchasing multiple single-family homes at scale to rent them out via Section 8, you want to keep your acquisition costs as low as possible per home so that you can buy as many as possible. So all that's to say, when looking at deals on market, essentially what I'm looking at is the ability to get a home that is immediately below appraisal, that I can see ways to get a higher appraisal after doing minor work, and once penciling out the cost of acquisition and the cost of that work, factoring in what the appraisal would be after the work's completed, what 70% of that value would render me. If there's a spread there, you're in business, meaning you can get all your money back and take a little bit extra money, put it in your pocket, and still cash flow. That's a sweet spot you really want to be in. And when we say a property is on market, what that means is that it is listed on the MLS. So the seller of the home has placed it on the market to be sold. Typically, homes that are on market are homes that are owned by sellers that are selling it via a real estate agent. So it's rare that you'll be speaking directly to an owner when looking at homes on market. Vast majority of cases, you will be speaking to their real estate agent. It can happen that a owner is a real estate agent themselves, or they're doing something called a for sale by owner. However, in the vast majority of cases, again, you'll be talking to a real estate agent when homes are on market. Finding homes that are on market that fit the criteria of your buy box is really straightforward. You can go on sites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. These are all sites that are essentially just databases linked direct to the MLS and will show you any house that's on market. There are technically other ways to look directly at the MLS. If you have a real estate agent who has a portal, they can give you access via their portal and see all of the listings. The only time where this is something that's advantageous is if someone has listed on the MLS but for whatever reason, the realtor has decided not to post it on a site like Zillow. This is rare, although it does happen. So having that in your back pocket is great as well. If you have a real estate agent, they should have some sort of site or portal that gives you access and even sends you alerts based on the criteria that you're looking for. My personal preference for looking on market, aside from the portals that my realtors give me access to, is to use Zillow. And that's just a personal preference. Like I mentioned, you can use Redfin or Realtor or any of the number of sites that are similar. Truly as another one. I just happen to like the interface with Zillow and think it's a clean experience. I've had some buggy experiences with some of the other sites too, so Zillow would be my recommendation, but ultimately they're all the same. It's just a matter of preference. So here we'll do a quick run through. All of these sites are free. You can create an account. Usually you can integrate your Google account easily, so you don't have to worry about creating a big profile or anything like that. And then you just put in your information based on your buy box, looking for deals that fit that criteria in the market you selected. And this is also where you'll start to see realtors' information listed on these deals, where you'll be making those calls to build your network in the market. So let's do a run through here and take a look at an example market. Market we'll go through here is Cleveland. All right, so we have Zillow pulled up. We'll just go scroll up here to where it says buy, go to houses for sale. Here it'll bring up Cleveland. Here I already have in my search criteria. If it wasn't already there, I would just type it in. Select Cleveland, Ohio home, show you a map. Go ahead and remove the boundary. That'll show you the surrounding areas of Cleveland. Remember, public housing authorities are generally entities that cover municipalities. So you need to limit it to the city, so to speak. So once we have it in Cleveland, we can put in the parameters on our buy box. For the price, I'll put a maximum of $120,000. Even though I'm not really going to spend $120,000, I still want to include some listings there to get the biggest results list possible. Often when people are listing their properties for rent, they will put out a number that's well above what they know they'll get. So you don't want to limit it to your top amount when you're searching. You want to also include a little bit above, because you can negotiate those people down and end up in the zone that you want to be at. So we'll put 120 there, hit apply. For bed and baths, I'll put in 3 bedroom, 1 bath. We're not going to use exact match, we're just going to use those as minimums. We'll hit apply. Next step, I'm going to do home type. I'm going to do just houses. I'm not going to get the same appreciation with townhomes, not really focus on multifamily right here. Condos are no, lots, apartments are no, and I'm not looking at any mobile homes. So I'm just going to do houses for single family homes. And you can see here, according to the map, all the different selections or all the different hits that come up. And you can scroll through and look at what you got. So Cleveland's got a ton of inventory. It's a great market for Section 8. Take a look here, 4 bedroom, 3 bath. Remember, more bathrooms you have, more costs you're gonna have. However, the more appealing it'll be. It's a little bit large. Looks relatively turnkey. See, once you get in there and look underneath the hood a little bit, you'll probably find some issues there, but one looks pretty good. If you want to zero in on your search even more, do is hit more here. Put a max square footage, say 1,500. Max lot size, we'll do 1/4 acre. Year built, let's put 1950 or above. Hit apply there and see what that gets us. So that narrows us down to 19 results, significantly less than what we were just looking at. A lot of times a single parameter adjusted like that can have a major impact on the search rendering, which is why I generally leave it more open than more restrictive unless I'm looking for something super specific. A lot of times, especially in a town like Cleveland, it's the age of the home that will get you less results. A lot of those homes were built a long time ago. So let's actually try that. Let's see if I click more here and then get rid of that parameter, no min, hit apply, see what that does. You can see it goes back to 186. So a lot of those homes, 167 of them to be exact, were built before 1950. So 186 to choose through. Got some foreclosures here, different homes in different situations. This one right here looks pretty nice. 75K, 1,100 square feet. Might have to jump on that one. So here's where you would just click on it. You get a look at the description. It has a newer roof, which is great. Usually if they've done an update on the roof, they will list it right there in the description. Upgraded electrical, location. All right, everything looks good. So I can see here, this is listed by an agent. They got the person's email and phone number, which is great. So I'm gonna give this person a call. I'm gonna go through all the items we covered in the last section: roof, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, flooring, paint, history of the home. I'm also gonna ask them why they're selling the home. I wanna learn as much as I can about the sellers and their motivations. And once I find a property, I generally have my real estate agent run some comps on it to make sure that I'm in a situation where I'm getting a good deal right out of the gate, even without doing any work, preferably. Which, remember, is defined as I'm getting into a deal that is less for where I'm paying less than what the house would appraise for. So, although I don't like to be too restrictive on the parameters for the reasons we've demonstrated here, it'll cut out too many properties. There is a strategy that I do use for looking at homes on market that I would highly recommend. And this has to do with finding what I refer to as distressed situations, which we'll talk about a lot more when we're talking about ways to find deals off market. But for now, think of a distressed situation as a situation where the seller is under pressure to sell the home, as opposed to a seller who isn't in a big hurry. Maybe they just put the home on the market to see what they could get, and maybe they have the home rented or they own it outright. They don't have to pay a whole lot to own the home, so it's not a huge burden on them, and they're in a position where if they don't get the number that makes sense for them, they're just not going to sell it. A seller who's under pressure, conversely, is someone who is more likely to take a lower offer. The most common distress situations in real estate are divorces, where there's a property that's owned that needs to be sold in order to split the value of it amongst the people splitting up. Properties that are inherited and in probate. Often the inheritants are out of state and don't want anything to do with the property. They want to sell it. Properties that are behind on taxes or behind on their mortgage payments and have subsequent lien. They'll either be in foreclosure or have a tax lien on them. Code violations is another one, where property is just not being kept up and it's obvious that the owner of it isn't really in a position to manage it effectively. And my personal favorite, which I think is the easiest and really the only one that pertains to homes that are on market, is properties that are listed for sale that have been on the market for close to 6 months. The 6-month mark is important here. This means that the seller has taken the initiative to get a real estate agent. The real estate agent's job is to sell the house for them. They've put it on the MLS. They've posted it. A month, 2, 3, 4, 5 months have passed and they still haven't been able to sell it. This can happen for any number of reasons. The asking price is too high. The house needs too much work. The real estate agent isn't doing a great job. Whatever the case may be, they're not able to sell the home. Now the real estate agent is in danger of losing the listing. Legally, the real estate agent has 6 months where they own the contract. After that 6 months, the seller can decide to no longer go with that agent and go with someone else. Irrespective of that 6-month mark and the dynamic of how it works with the real estate agent, the seller is under more pressure the longer the home is on market. So this means the seller has put it on market and is trying to sell it, but has still kept it on market even after 5-6 months, meaning they still have legitimate interest in selling it even though they're not getting the number they want. And now the cost of maintaining this home is becoming a bigger problem as more and more time passes. The dynamic with a real estate agent losing the listing is important because they're going to really fight to sell that home before that happens. The closer they get to that day, the more they're going to fight for a number they may have not fought for early on in the process. The seller may have had some offers fall through, may not be getting any traction. So if you can come in, especially with a cash offer, and we'll explain how you do that even if you don't have the cash. But for now, just understand that you can do that. Come in with a cash offer, which makes the offer more competitive. They're in a distressed situation because it's been on the market for 6 months. So they're looking to take any offer they can get at this point, potentially. You come in, cash offer, undervalue, offering a quick close, no drama. You're in a pretty good position to at least have them consider a lowball offer and negotiate from there. So to see homes that have been on the market for some period of time, what you would do here under that more section is you would just scroll down here, days on Zillow, just go to 6 months there, hit apply, see what you can get. So the results can be kind of finicky, unfortunately. If you look at an example here, you can see this one's been on for 63 days. So they have tried to sell this home for 2 months, still been able to do so. So I could favorite this home, keep an eye on it. Even 2 months, I would say, is enough where they might be open to play ball. But really at this point, you've got your buy box, you've got the results in the market, you've got a phone, pick it up and use it. This is where the work of real estate comes in. It is true that you can eventually get to a place where you have a portfolio and your rental income is really passive, or as close to passive as you can get. However, it's somewhat of a misnomer to associate passive income with real estate out of the gate, because there's a lot that goes into it. And a part of what that is getting on the phone and talking to people. And remember, when you're calling these people, calling these listings, calling the agents on these listings, right? Looks like Michael is here on this one as well. You're not only calling about the home, but you're building a connection and building a network. The listing agent on this home might make a great agent for you to represent you when you're buying homes as well. They also have all other properties that they have for other clients that they can tell you about. But in order to have that conversation, you got to get on the phone and call them. It's as simple as that. Another thing about building a big network of real estate agents is they can bring deals to you before the homes go on market. I know that's technically finding a deal off market, but it's part of the value of building up that big network. Hit up these sites, put in your parameters, try to look for homes that have been on the market for a little bit longer than other ones. See if you can get it into a distressed situation and get a buyer that's more likely to accept a lowball offer. Have your real estate agent pull comps on it to make sure that you will appraise for more than the listing price, or at least more than the offer that you're going to make on it, so that when you buy it, again, you're getting that instant equity. So if you see a home that will appraise for 100K based on comps and you can get it for 70K, I would say that's a pretty good deal, right? You always want to be below what that appraisal is going to be. So either look at the comparables online or have your real estate validate your assumptions, and then make as many offers as you can, and eventually one will hit. I guarantee you one will hit eventually. It can be discouraging if you have a lot of offers that never get accepted and never fall through, but you learn from each one. You keep looking for deals. You set up alerts on these sites, favorite different homes that you like. But the most important thing is to get on the phone and call them. Even better, if you have a rockstar real estate agent, they can call on these properties for you too. But when you're first getting started and you maybe don't have that real estate agent, get on the phone and talk to them yourselves. The conversation will go very easily. A lot of times, surprisingly, they won't even answer the phone, unfortunately. So don't have any nerves about calling someone on the phone in real estate. They talk to people on the phone every day. It's very normal. They want to talk to you. They want to sell the home. If you have any nerves around that, get over it. You're going to have to talk to people when you're getting started, and it's fun. Have some fun with it. You're making money, you're making connections, you're building your network, you're setting up yourself for success in the market, finding the best deals that are on market, which is really the easiest way to go about it. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.